Scrappy friends, welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Hannah. If you are old here, woot. No. Woot for everyone. So if you didn't know, all month of July, Megan and I have been sharing videos every day. I will have a link in the info box below so you can check out her channel. But today I am working on some Project Life. So I've been trying to do Project Life not quite every week, but it'll feel like every week because I know I just posted some recently. But this is week 13. So part of my hopeful goal is to work a little bit more on getting a little bit closer to the date that it is now, because I am at the end of March. So this is, I want to say, week number 2 or 3 of our stay at home. I want to say it's week 2, but week 3 basically since the schools stopped having kids and something like that. So we homeschool, so it really doesn't change our stuff too much. Though this week, I don't think we had a full week of school because I had a doctor's appointment in which I had to go out. But I want to say either this week or the week after my husband starts working from home. So that definitely changed things quite a bit in our house. We did sometime either this week or the week after, we actually took a whole week off and just did like just a refocus week. Sometimes we do that. It did mean that we had to go right up until July, but that's okay. It's worth it. Especially with this year being all super crazy. Anyway, so I am using mostly stuff from Citrus Twist kits, but there is some stuff that you will see that is from printables that I bought in. I like to get stuff from the Lilypad quite often, just to kind of mix in. Though I will say I haven't bought anything from them for a while, but I did buy some stuff around this time. So I still have some of that stuff. I try to pick a certain amount of cards that I think I'm going to use and then print them off so I have them ready. So I do use a few from that I had printed off. So, and I generally like to either just cut cardstock up and use it, or if I have a little bit nicer of a matte like presentation type paper, I like to use that. It's definitely not as cheap as I want to say Andrea. She uses a different paper, and I've bought in it before, but I didn't like the way my printer printed on it, so I don't know. But I do print all my photos at home. So you're watching me go through my photos. And there are some that I have multiple for this week because I had started printing them like earlier before I moved into my newer room, and before my printer, like when it was first starting to go funky. So I had to reprint some of the photos. And so I was just trying to decide like if I thought the newer version looked better. The one that you see right now up at the top, that 3x3 I think it is, that one was actually the original. I didn't reprint that one out, though I thought about it, but I had printed it off twice. And this one right here is also one that I didn't print off again. So it does have a little bit of a more vintage look to it. I'm just going to be okay with that. Sometimes I think it doesn't have to be perfect. And a lot of times the photos that I use for Project Life aren't always the most perfect pictures because it's life. And our life is not perfect by any means. So, I mean, I do like to have some nice photos in there, so I do try to get a mix. And sometimes one thing I will try to do, if I notice I have a lot of weeks where either I don't have a lot of photos or I don't really care for my photos, I will take a week and just try to make sure that I take extra time to just take photos of things that I like. And those I can use around the same time, so it doesn't have to necessarily be like that week that I use the photo. So I'm just gonna get some stuff and put these hearts on. They're wood. I thought they would work good with that. I did end up noticing that I used the wrong year date with my date stamp. So at some point I go back. I don't know if I show it on screen. So I also have this other photo of my kids on the couch, or I think it's all of us on the couch, but you can't see me. And it is a smaller photo that I'm gonna put on a 4x6. So I think right now I'm just working on cutting all these. And I do like to add the date to the back so that I know what date it is. And I try to do that when I print them. So I will batch print and do about 2 weeks at a time. That way I'm not always printing every week, though sometimes it's like that. So one thing I do like to do with my Project Life is make cards. So you've seen that title card or the week card. I did that one, and I'm going to work on this one and use that pattern paper and just kind of layer them into a fun pattern. And I do that a lot with the cards on this week. Some weeks I don't do that as much. So this video is a little bit longer because I made a lot of these cards myself, or use cards and made them work for me. But it's one of the things that I like about my Project Life. I feel like it's mine when I do this kind of stuff. So I knew that I wanted to back that photo with a mat, just because it is small and it's not going to hurt to have a little extra color. If I had thought about it, I might have printed it just a smidge bit better. But that's my kids playing a game. Well, and I believe I played with them that day. So they had a few weeks, but especially the week before, where they just did a ton of games. They were just playing games, which is fun and fine. We have a ton of games. So the game that they are playing here is, what is it? It's like the telephone game, but you draw, it's with pictures. So you get a card and you have to write down you have to draw a picture of what it looks like, and then you basically give the person next to you the picture that you drew, and they have to guess what it was, and then they have to either redraw what you drew or draw their own version of what they think it is for the next person. Now, this is my little bin that has a lot of embellishments. So since I've gotten citrus twist kits in the past and before, I just keep some of them together. I do have the tag date tags and stuff all together, and then I try to have really big pieces and then some of the smaller ones. Some of them I do have them still in the packs with the themed week, but sometimes I do just dump them out and use them. So it depends. There was quite a few kits that I had got closer to the summer when I stopped getting them the last time. So that was probably 2 years ago. And I didn't use that much of the kit because they were like travel-y themed and stuff. So I probably will be using them a little bit more this summer. I do try to think about if something is like summer themed or not, especially in project life. So, especially since I take pictures that are themed with whatever season it is. With that said, we don't do a ton of like activities like some families do. So, and this year especially because everybody's stuck inside. So, you know, I feel like that's where the photo prompt works really nicely. If you just take some pictures of things that like catch your eye, that's really pretty, because then it breaks up the fact that you might have a lot of the same type of photos. But I do go in like stretches of time where I take a lot of the same types of photos, and a lot of it is just like that stuff we're doing, like school. We'll say we probably have a ton of photos, but I think that'll be fun over the years just to see it. Well, I should say it's fun over the years to see how their school has changed and where we do school has changed. So this is a photo of hail. It's kind of hard to tell. It's near our stairs. It is not pretty, really. This is not like a pretty picture because it's in an area that is not like super clean, but I really liked the way that it looked like snow. So we had that week, we had a lot of hail, but that day I think we had hail twice, and that week we had hail like 4 or 5 times. So it was crazy. So I definitely tried to make sure that I got that. Now, I like to use the Becki Higgins A protectors. I've used other ones and I have some other ones, but this is my go-to because I mostly have 4x6 and then the 3x4 is horizontal. So, or vertical. The 3x4s are vertical, right? Yeah. And my 4x6 are horizontal. So that's generally how I do pictures. And I don't know. I've tried the other way where I've had the 4x6 bigger, but usually the 4x6 ones are ones that I don't need to have really big too. And so that picture that I'm working on right now is mixed media stuff that I added on and just put them on my desk. I had gotten an order of some mixed media stuff. I needed gesso really bad. But I also got some other fun stuff. So I'm just looking for something that's a little bit brighter to add to that bottom part to just break up a little bit more of that black and white. And then I added that chipboard. And the other picture is of my cat trying to eat my paintbrushes. For whatever reason, he just thinks it's fun to chew on paintbrushes. I'm not really sure what that's about, but he's a kitten and kittens do silly things. So I took a picture of that, but that week I had worked quite a bit on some mixed media stuff. I kind of was having a slump of a year, and so one of the things that I decided to do was buy Light the Path. It's a subscription-based, I don't want to say it's a class, it's not really a class, but it's sort of like a class. And she gives you tons of prompts to work through like some trauma and stuff, and we just have had like some rough times. And there's a lot of stuff from past stuff that we've worked through. So it was really nice to have something that I can work on to kind of focus and to kind of bring me back to doing the stuff that I love, which is scrapbooking. But I I feel like I kind of got disconnected. And one thing about trauma, if anybody knows anything about trauma, it does really affect the part of your brain that helps you be creative. It kind of can cut that off. So when you focus on stuff that's creative, it helps heal that part of your brain and you can be even more creative. It's quite interesting and weird how our brains work this way. But anyway, so I'm going to get off the education platform here. So you're seeing me go through some of the cards that I have printed off. Some of those are cards that I have made too, or other kits or like collections or something, but a lot of those are ones that I've printed off. I do have ones from different time periods, so it's not just like from this year or anything. But so I had this card that says in my, and I actually think I have one that's a vertical one. So that one is from Paisley Press, I believe. And that tape one is actually from Feed Your Craft. So they have, they also have a subscription where you can get like stamps and little things, but they also have a version digital, or at least they used to. And so I had this tape one, and we've been watching The Masked Singer since it started, and the season. And so that one picture was us watching The Masked Singer. So I thought it would be kind of fun to document that with tapes, because it has to do with listening and a lot of it. And it's really fun. It's one of those things that we do as a family, and we all kind of try to figure out who do we think it is. Of course, my kids don't really know music very well. I kind of feel bad, even though I know it's my job to like make them educated, help educate them. I shouldn't say make them be educated, but it just makes me realize how less my kids listen to music than how much I listened to music growing up. And I just think it's just kind of how it is. We don't play as much music out loud, which we really should, because we all like music. Even my husband, but we kind of like listen to our own type of music. So it's interesting. But it's been really fun because it kind of brings us all together. So here is a COVID related, and I've just decided to kind of put this stuff in my, just in project life, all of that like COVID-y stuff that's going on. And as we get closer, there'll be other things that I'll be adding in there that, and I don't always add this stuff to my albums, but this year I'm particularly trying to make sure to be intentional to add just stuff that's going on, because I don't always do that. And this year is such a groundbreaking year for things. It's just a big change, and I really want to make sure that I'm documenting that, because I love history. And so like this is one thing that I don't probably talk about very often, but I absolutely love history. And I really love this idea of sharing my version of history through like, or the version of history that I see through my eyes as I'm living it. And because it all looks different for each and every person. And I just want to have something for our kids to be like, yeah, this is what it looked like for us. And so, and some of that is just our daily everyday things, like our school, how we do school differently. But I want to have it kind of correlate to just other events that are going on right now, since it is such a crazy time. And I'm hoping that this will help me in the future to add more stuff like this too, because I wasn't as intentional about doing it. So this year I am a little bit more intentional. So that one card that says real life, I believe that is a citrus twist card. And then I just added some of that striped paper, and then that little graph. It's not real, well, it is a graph. It's like a table chart. And it has the number of positive tests versus negative tests, and like how many tests they were doing that week. So because this was more around the time when a lot more people were able to get tested for a while in our state. And even probably in this week, it was a lot harder to get tested. There weren't as many tests, but they were working on getting tests and all that stuff. So I did want to kind of document this. And in the state of Washington, we were higher at the beginning. So around this time, we are a lot higher than a lot of other cities and states. But then as New York starts getting hit, they obviously way beat us out, which is fine because we were lucky to get some things under control. And so I just wanted to document, you know, what some of our numbers were and how things were relating to us. So like I said, at this point, either this week or the week after, my husband works from home. And that's one thing that his job was able to do for him. Not everybody was able to do that. But one of the, so that top picture, you don't see it, and I'll explain what I'm doing here because I think I'm going to work on another 4x6 card. I made a lot of the 4x6 cards on here, I realize, which isn't a problem. And like I said, I really like that aspect of this project, is that I can make it how I want to. And that's one of the things that I love to see when I look back when we were in Hawaii and I was doing Project Life every week. So that's kind of why my motivation is to look back at the time when I did do it quite a bit in Hawaii and seeing all those photos together, and why I continue to try to do that. And because things have changed, I have pretty much a full album of years that I've worked on Project Life, and not the whole time have I worked on it the whole year or anything. Last year I really did not do any Project Life, I don't believe, at all, which, you know, is fine. But okay, so two of those cards, those two 3x4 cards, are ones that I printed off. The top part of it says "Stuck on You," I think. It was for like Valentine's Day. And then the other one looks like brush strokes. And then the semicircles or half circles, that was from Citrus Twist paper. So I'm going to take these cards and cut them down just a little and put them on wonky. And I really like how this turned out. That yellow is like really similar to the color on there. And so there was this other card that said "Enjoy the Little Things." And I didn't need a card that was a wasted card, especially for this week because I had a lot of photos. And so I'm just going to cut this out and put it on there, and it's going to be my card. So I did try to take out some of these cards. As you see, I'm like, I must be talking to someone. I don't know who I'm talking to. Maybe my husband. Sometimes he'll come down and talk to me for a few minutes. Gotta love how I talk with my hands, right? Does anybody else do that? Do you talk with your hands? It looks really funny on videos. But anyway, so I'm going to layer these down at the bottom. I actually kind of liked the one paper that has like the letters on it in the middle, but I did want to add that card. So I'm going to split that in half. And so you don't end up seeing that much of the floral paper, which is kind of sad. I like that. It was really pretty, but that's okay. It's okay because I have more of it, so I can use it on another page. And I did try to stick with some pretty bright colors because it was a really nice week that week. Well, when it wasn't hailing, I should say. So the sun was starting to come out a little bit, and, you know, and it's summer here now, so I'm kind of wanting to use colors. And I don't do the journaling on here right now. Some of them I did, and then some of them I didn't. So this will just be for journaling. So you see, I'm working on that. I'm going to put some enamel dots, and that is going to go along the picture of our tablescape, which has a meal that me and my husband, like, we try to at least once a month make a really nice meal together and sit down. We'll usually wait till the kids are done, gone into bed, and you know, we'll have some food with some wine. And we've been, especially this part of the year, and into April, and then we kind of stop, I think, around May. We haven't really been doing it now, but we like to do some wine tasting. So I got a really fun wine book that tells you all about different kinds of wines, and I'll have to take a picture and make sure I put it in my project life, because it is stuff that we've done, and I don't always document when we're doing it. But and then a little wine tasting book that you can rate your wines and stuff. And that's one thing that we've been doing also throughout the quarantine, which just kind of makes it fun, and it's just something for us to do together that's just kind of different. And so for this last kit from Citrus Twist for July was cravings, so it had a lot to do with food and stuff, and so I was able to pull out that stamp and pull out some of the little pieces for that too. And those are pictures. And then there is a picture of me wearing a mask at my doctor's appointment. So here are some pictures. Thank you guys for joining me. This was a super long project life, so hopefully next time I can get it down a little bit lower, but I did do a ton. And so I hope you guys enjoyed seeing my week 13, and I'm gonna try to keep doing more of these project life videos. I know they take a little bit longer, but hopefully you don't mind. And don't forget to just keep an eye on the videos for the last of this month, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.